We already having technical difficulties. Oh, is my lighter going up? Don't look like we got no incinerator tonight. Oh, there we go. I forgot I got the fan on. You are officially in the incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense, the live streams that we do here on the Alert Zone TV. I hope everybody is having a good day. Let me give everybody a couple minutes to get in here. As a matter of fact, y'all hold tight. Let me see something here. Where the hell my damn light at? Oh, I can't find it. Alright, we'll roll like this. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I was gonna get a brighter light, but I'll find it later so my face don't come out so dark. So you guys might want to see a little bit better. But shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. This is a live stream we're gonna have. I'm gonna try not to hold you guys too long, but I just thought that I'd do this. Shout out to everybody because it's a worldwide movement. Wherever you're watching from around the world. We got the UKB in the building. We've had Iranians, Iraqis, people from Brazil, Australians, Mexicans, Canadians. We just a worldwide movement. So, all right, we got my brother Well Dressed Tactical in the building. Everybody be sure to give him a hand. Make sure you subscribe to Well Dressed Tactical, as a matter of fact. Shout out to Dr. T and her channel. I want you guys, and especially you girls, don't just subscribe to her channel. Make sure you view the material. Especially for ladies, because I know sometimes it can be a little bit difficult taking things from men. Sometimes we may come off as chauvinistic or unrelatable. Some of the things that we teach here, go and support the women, because the women can give y'all a little bit more in-depth from a female's perspective. And as I always say to the ladies, learn how to carry on your person. So go and subscribe. Find you a female gun tuber from Summer, She Fires, Dr. T, Gun Girls Atlanta, somebody I don't hardly ever see anymore. Santee TV, I don't know if she's still around. Autumn's Armory. Your young daughters, let them watch Autumn's Armory. She's a young girl. She's been doing this for quite a few years. She has a lot of sponsors. She does a lot of shooting. For the ladies, get into some of these female gun tubers channels and learn from them, because they need y'all support. And like I said, sometimes they can tell you guys things that we can't. But for everybody, find your gun tuber. Whether this is your channel or not. I know this channel ain't for everybody. Alright, we got King Pitbull in the house. What's going on, man? Just getting ready to get started with this live stream. Definitely we gotta have a talk about some things. So I'm gonna give everybody about another minute to get in here. Yeah, man. Like I said, I hope everybody is. Before I get started, let me say this also. Here in America, we having a heat wave across the country. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you take care of yourself. For us, I'm 45. Yeah, I can't take the heat like I used to be able to. But make sure you're taking care of yourself out there. It is definitely really warm in some places. You don't want a heat stroke. You don't want to feel the pain from none of that. None of that, you know what I'm saying? All right, bonjour. We got somebody that speaks French up in here. I'm not real fluent in French, even though I'm from Louisiana. Go figure. Let me see what I know. Les Béton Roulé and C'est bon. Okay. I would repeat that, but I can't. So, all right, everybody, we at the 5-minute mark. Let's go ahead and get into this. If you saw the title, Scooter Jr. and the YNs. This is a conversation that we have to have. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, but we gotta have this discussion, and we gotta do it out in the public. We can't do it behind closed doors because it's hard for the message to get where it's supposed to. So we're gonna do this out in public. Since social media comes and a lot of people get to comment, I want to give everybody their props in the sense that I've been going around to the different channels and I've been noticing that usual suspects, the 13%, all these comments in a lot of the different channels that I've visited throughout the years, they're starting to fade away. And that comes from a steady drum beat. That comes from a steady drum beat of us constantly pounding these messages about crime don't have a face and crime don't have a color. I think a lot of people now are starting to get that through their heads. What's going on, Andrew? Just out here trying to deliver this message. I think a lot of people are starting to get it through their heads about whatever differences you have with other racial and ethnic groups is one thing. But everybody's been figured out all of our houses are made of glass. We can't keep throwing stones from a glass house. Now, when you look in the the title, and you see the YNs, the reason I put that is I guess that's the new term for the young people. I try my best to somewhat keep up with some of this young slang, you know. But nevertheless, they wilding. Now let me say this, as a black content creator, but as a black man, it's a fact. When the summertime come, when it get hot outside, shit hit the fan. It go down. People are aggravated. People ain't for it. People that got jobs that go to work, whether it's an inside or outside job, just driving home sometimes, especially in traffic, that heat can beat you down. That heat can put you in a position where you don't want to hear it. You ain't in the mood for it. And things like this also brings the savages out. Shout out to Gun Freak Nation. It's about to be August and September. For those of you who don't know, those are two of the most violent months in the country. It's like the summer and the heat drives everybody out of their mind. When they come out, they're looking for blood. It's almost like the lion's been let loose. The grizzly bear's roaming. You know, when the summertime come, when the spring come, and the winter is over with, all right, we got eyes and ears in here. Yeah, man, it's humid down there in NOLA. You know what I'm talking about. Growing up, when I was a kid, we always knew when the spring came, going into the summer, you would even hear the news, what's going on? You would even hear, see the police chiefs and the police spokespeople get on the news and tell everybody, be safe. Summertime, it's going to be a long, hot summer. When we said that in May or June, those words have never been truer. When you hear people say it's going to be a long, hot summer. A long, hot summer doesn't just mean heat. That means the body's going to drop. The bullets gonna fly, the knives gonna swing, and everything else in between. And I just thought we would have that discussion. I've been seeing these videos of these street takeovers or downtown takeovers or whatever they call them going on in a lot of these major cities where these young people coming out at night, they being destructive, they fighting, they shooting, they doing all kinds of craziness. You got to be on alert. You got to be on alert when you out here. And let me say this. I'm not going to be one that's going to deter people from enjoying outside. But what I am going to tell you is to be careful. I don't think we should live in fear that we can't go to a concert. Or sometime, depending on where you live, in the night, the summer nights, is when you come out. 7, 8 o'clock at night. And enjoy the nightlife. A restaurant, a bar, just a stroll. Down in New Orleans, we used to go to the river, to the Mississippi River, to the Riverwalk sometime at night. And just sit outside. It was cool out there, and we would enjoy ourselves. For those of you who never been to New Orleans, when you come in the Riverwalk through the main entrance in Spanish Plaza right there, there's a big old circle and everything is in Spanish because that's where the Spaniards landed when they first came to New Orleans. That's just a little bit of New Orleans history. Or sometime we would go to Congo Square, which is right up the river. That's where the slaves used to gather and celebrate and enjoy each other's company. Sometimes we would just go sit out on the side of the river walk at night and watch the cruise ships come in. But nevertheless, that's the time for you to get out and enjoy yourself. In Mexico, summertime, you guys know last year, this time last year, I was in Mexico. 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, everybody coming outside. Most people that's not in the food industry or maybe mechanic, they closing their businesses down. They done went home, they done showered up, they go into the plaza downtown. They go and eat, they go and enjoy the nightlife. But you gotta be careful. You also have to remember this. Sometime live and let live when these YNs come out. Cause Pookie and Ray Ray be on the prowl bad. Up here, Brad, as they call him, be out here riding around town looking for something to get into. And this is just, don't get offended. I'm just using this terminology that I find in these other pages. The Edgars, yeah, everybody be out looking for something. So while you have those of us that's out looking for peace, tranquility, and enjoy ourselves, as they always say, when you give a party, there's always one person that's going to show up looking for trouble. That's even when it comes to family. If you give a party and invite your family, you know there's one family member that when that motherfucker comes around, it's nothing but fucking chaos. It's just better if you don't invite them because that just keeps the shit down. When they show up, the fucking shit goes up through the fucking roof. They get everybody riled up, and the next thing you know, it turns into an argument, and the next thing you know, fists, knives, and everything else fighting. This is swinging. Also, with these young people, I'm seeing more and more of these little young boys out here. 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. Going to jail every night for these damn killings out here. These mass shootings where they passing by a party and airing the joint out and what have you. It's gotten to the point where there used to be a time when you knew to stay out of a certain neighborhood. Stay off a certain block. At a certain time, you don't go on this corner unless you're looking for trouble. Well, now, as I talked about in my live stream earlier today when I did Midday Mania in DC, you can be inside minding your business and these bullets starting to come through the window now. These bullets starting to fly everywhere. For my college people, it's hot out here. Be careful. I don't drink, but alcohol and heat don't mix. Remember, Brian Kohlberger just got sentenced. Don't think that you're out of the realm of the possibility of that happening to you. And, you know, we call it across the board here in the Alert Zone TV. We just tell it like it is. At the end of the day, I want everybody to be safe. All law-abiding citizens. Even if we don't always agree on everything, At the end of the day, for those of us who get up and go out there and make it happen and mind our business, I still want you to be safe, and I don't wish no harm on you. We don't promote violence on the Alert Zone TV. I never have and I never will, but I will tell you this. I'm not going to tell you turn the other cheek either. And I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I know throughout this channel and my last channel, sometimes people would attack me in my comment section and we would go back and forth, and I was okay with that as long as they were respectful. I've never advocated for violence against nobody. I've never told you go get a firearm and go start something. Go set your house up so somebody can break it in so you can have a reason to kill them. We don't do that. But we just call it like it is. I've been living in Iowa for 15 years. What I saw in New Orleans is different than what I seen up here, but it's not different. Crime is here. These criminals up here, these young criminals, hell, there's a couple guys that live a couple doors down from me. They fighting the case now. Between them and they damn dad, they went into the town mall and stole $200,000-$300,000 worth of shit. They have been going in some of these high-end houses and pulling these burglaries and all that. And the two sons and the fucking dad. So yeah, I posted a sign on my community tab because I just wanted to point something out. Crime is everywhere. We've gotten to this thing where if you move to a big city, you're okay and nothing can happen to you. That sign said no more than 2 minors under the age of 18 without an adult. Because the same shit y'all accuse people in the hood of doing, it goes on up here. You go to Dollar General and all that, certain things, they got fucking locked. Or they got them, when you lift them up, the damn alarm go off to let the employee know that you're taking something from that particular area. It's the same thing. Also, it's August. School time is coming. Unfortunately, you know what that means. School shooter drills and the almost anticipation of anybody that has a loved one in any kind of a university, any kind of a high school, middle school, elementary school, whatever. If you have somebody, not only in America, because this has spread around the world, that attends school, I don't care what nobody say, you don't have to admit it publicly, you worry about them when they go to school. These school shootings have become almost to the point where if we go a week in this country and in this world without a school shooting, everybody's saying, damn, well, at least we made it out this week. That's how normal these school shootings have gotten. Let me tell you something. We're going to have a discussion about these school shootings. Talk to your children. Explain to your children when they're cracking jokes with certain people and they see people taking those jokes to heart, just stop. Live, let it live, let it be. I analyze these school shooters. Anytime they pull off one of these heinous acts, the very first thing I do is go to, with my little technology that I know, I go online and look for the manifesto. Because I want to read exactly from the shooter's thoughts. I don't want nobody to tell me bits and pieces. The mainstream media has gotten used to that. So the first thing they do now is scrub the internet. They try not to put these manifestos out. Sometimes people get a hold of them. I say if you ever get a hold of one, download it to your device. Because if you give it long enough, they will erase it. A lot of these kids talk about being bullied. I'm 45 years old. I'm Gen X. Being bullied then was totally different than being bullied now. Now they got this quote-unquote cyberbullying. We all old heads say, well, just turn your damn phone off or get off the damn internet and you ain't got to worry about nothing. Back when we was young, a bully was somebody that actually beat up on you because they thought you couldn't beat them, or because they thought you were afraid of them. It was physical violence. It was, oh yeah, you see so and so. Every time I catch him, I'm gonna knock him upside his head and I'm gonna take his candy. I'm gonna take his money from him. When we in the cafeteria at lunch, if it's pizza day or whatever it is that I like, I'm gonna go and tell him I want his food. That's what it used to be. This bullying they have now, I don't know what to make of it. But I want everybody to understand something. Tell your children, tell your loved ones. When people start going overboard with these jokes and they start touching these kids, go about their business. Remember Clebo and Harris, when they pulled Columbine, when they got in that library, everybody they killed in that library, they made it clear, had either made fun of them or was standing in the circle laughing when somebody was making them feel uncomfortable, unwanted. I know what I'm saying might sound like I'm trying to ruffle feathers, but I'm not. I'm just telling you a fact. I'm telling you what Klebold and Harris made clear, what the survivors were saying. There was the guy, they let him go, but they killed his sister in front of him. She was a cheerleader. Because they said one day she was standing in the hallway laughing while some kids was making fun of him. So they told him to run, and if he looked back, they was going to kill him after they shot his sister in front of him. So, unfortunately, it's school time. Be on alert. Pay attention. Tell your children to pay attention. Tell your children when a teacher ain't paying attention in class, don't be in their goddamn phone. Be paying attention to what's going on, because you know what? None of us are immune from these school shootings. We not immune from these YNs. Like I said, these YNs have decided that they're not going to stay in the hood. When I say YNs, I don't just mean Pookie and Ray Ray. I mean the generation. They're not going to stay in the hood. They're venturing outside of the hood. For my people who live in quiet neighborhoods, who live in upscale neighborhoods, who live in just working class neighborhoods where this type of stuff is not normal, y'all starting to see an uptick in it. Y'all starting to see people come in to y'all neighborhoods, steal y'all cars, break into y'all houses. Y'all starting to see things y'all never saw. You know why? These YNs didn't figure if we're going to be out here, we might be out here risking ourselves for somebody who got something. There ain't no more safe zones. They coming into these damn gated communities. If they can't catch these gated communities or the quiet areas, they going into public. They victimizing everybody. You understand what I'm telling you? You have to be careful out here, man. If you have a young kid, young teen, especially a young boy, talk to your son. Talk to your nephew. Talk to your grandson. That's why, being 45 years old and still alive, I'm in uncle status. This is why I have the discussions on this channel I have. And I'm going to toot my own horn. I sure am. I damn sure am going to toot my own damn horn. I like to try and reach out to these young men and young women while they're young and steer them away from getting involved in some of this stuff, man. Because you know what? I go in the comment section, and a lot of times, and I've even been guilty of it, we excoriate these kids for getting into stuff that cost them the rest of their life. Some of these kids, really and truly, this is the one time they decided to join in. They don't usually get into nothing. This time they decided to join the fight. This time they decided they was going to go with their friends that's going to get them into something, and they got into a lifetime of trouble, and it cost somebody their life. Not all of these kids that get locked up have a long criminal history, or they have a history of being into this stuff, but let your kids know it's not worth getting out here and fighting about. Because these young boys and young girls don't fight no more. All they do is shoot. These girls stab, these young boys don't do nothing but shoot no more. It's not worth it. Walk away, live the talk about it another day, man. It's just not worth it anymore. I beg anybody that have young men in your life, I don't care what color you are, what ethnicity, none of it, please talk to them. Please tell them, hey man, look, sometimes you gotta live and let live. At 45 years old, I can tell you, and a lot of Gen Xers can vouch for me, we all have had to live and let live at least once in our life. We all have been in a position where we would have been justified for busting somebody in their fucking head, and we just told them, you know what? Go on about your business before I hurt you. And we went on about our business. We all have been in that position. Sometimes you just gotta go, man. Sometimes machismo and masculinity is just knowing when to walk away. There's some situations where you put in the corner and you gotta do what you gotta do. But there's some situations that you can just avoid, man. One thing that has always been around that is very dangerous is these fake gangsters. They're the most dangerous ones out here because they're a pretend gangster. They'll kill you faster than somebody that's really about that life. So you have to be mindful of that. Rat packing. A lot of these guys and girls get brave out here when there's 30 and 40 of them jumping on 1 or 2 people. That's when they get very brave. But you know what? That can cost you your life. When you outnumbered, man, sometimes you got to let it go. It's just not worth it. Like I said, these YNs worldwide, because this is a worldwide movement. You guys and girls know I'm going to expand my articles outside of just the North American continent. But you guys and girls know I try and read up these different articles and then cross-reference them to make sure that they have some validity to it. This is a problem across the world. It ain't just here in America. Everybody love dumping on America and saying American children are just this and just that. Yeah, but you know what? Some of these other places, some of y'all kids are just as bad. Some of y'all children are just as dangerous. These school shootings, school stabbings, they ain't just happening here in America. They've spread because they have fertile ground in other places. To my Mexicans, Mexican American, whether you over in Mexico or whether you here in America, you guys know what I'm talking about. I've read the articles. These young cartel members out here just terrorizing people for no reason. They are what they are as far as that's the lifestyle that they chose, but they out here terrorizing people for no reason. They taking people's phone, and if you got somebody's number in the phone that they don't like, they shooting you and killing you. And they doing this to young teens. They doing this to young people. And it's young people doing this. For you guys and girls that know, you have different documentaries where they interview these little young kids that's got handkerchiefs tied around their face, and they talk about, I'm the hitman everybody calls and what have you. I'm 12 or 13, and that's what I do is go on hits. I mean, nobody is exempt from it. And that's what I want y'all to understand. You have to be careful out here. You have to be strategic. Once again, school is coming. Unfortunately, a lot of these school shooters get radicalized by these keyboard warriors, and they go out there and try and perpetrate the real thing. Pookie and Ray Ray, Edgar, Brad, and Stacy, and all them, they trying to imitate what they seeing online. You got people here in this town I live in, they swear up and down they're urban. They ain't got a clue to fucking urban life. But they swear up and down they trying to sag and everything else that they see online. They got a place for them. It's called prison. It's open 24/7, 365, 366 on a leap year. They work on holidays and weekends. Definitely. There's plenty of vacancies too. And if one of them failed, they'll send you to another one. So I just thought that I'd just come on here and talk to everybody about that. Sit down and talk with your children. Now, there's another group of people I need to address, because this is where it kind of gets complicated. I see some of these comments that say, when the parents going to be held accountable. Let me make this clear. A lot of these parents don't raise these children to be like that. These children pick what they want to do and they decide to do these types of things. Here's the problem with holding the parents accountable. That's a can of worms I'm not sure you want to open up. Because if we're going to start holding the parents accountable, we got to do it across the board. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Now, if we can prove that the parents were complicit, yeah. But just holding the parents accountable just because these are young teens and what have you, a lot of these kids come from, even if they're impoverished, a lot of these kids still come from loving places. A lot of these kids, because maybe their family doesn't make a lot of money, that don't mean they don't come from decent values. All these athletes that's out here, a lot of them say, hey, we got it out the mud, but we here. Do you say that they're bad people? No. That's what I just wanted to address. As far as, like I said, holding the parents accountable, I think that needs to be a case-by-case basis, because once you make it a blanketed law, that means you're responsible for anything your child do. Now, what say your child goes out and participates in a robbery? You want to go to jail for that? Because somebody influenced them? Or they decided to go along with these kids that was going to do that? Because all of it is not influence. You want to spend the rest of your life possibly in prison? When you know in your home you didn't teach that? When you know everybody knows that's not the type of a parent you are? We all make choices. I wasn't raised to do some of the things I did. It was just in me, and I did what I did, and, that was that. Everybody's parents don't teach them to go in the store and steal, or to go around breaking in cars and robbing and what have you. Some kids, sometime, they get in that car that one time, man, and it costs them the rest of their life. Know a lot of people like that. Pretty sure everybody that catch this live or just even the replay, you know one person that threw their life away, that you know they wasn't that type of person. And this one time, here on YouTube, there's a thing about Angola Penitentiary, these Angola Christians. And the one guy says he had already did 28 years in prison. He went to Angola 2 weeks after his 17th birthday, had never been in trouble. Decided to get with his brother and them and get in the car, go and pull a robbery, and as a result, somebody lost their life. And he got 99 years in prison in Louisiana. And in Louisiana, when they mean 99 years, they mean that shit. When they tell you life in Louisiana, they mean until you stop breathing, they are not going to let you go. And he talked about how he came up for parole after 28 years, and they denied him his first offense, all that other stuff. Don't let that beat you. Talk to your children. Show them some of these programs. The type of music we let our children listen to, the type of stuff they expose to social media on, you're not going to be exposing them to something they don't know about. Let them see some of these stories, especially these boys. Let them see some of these prisoners talk about what goes on back there. It needs to be. Let them watch Fleece Johnson. They need this to be told to them graphically. They need the full details, not what you want to hear. So, like I said, it's August. The heat has kicked in nationwide. It's going to be a long 2 months. August and September. Going to be a long 2 months. Have your power tool with you. If you don't have any, go and get you one. Go get you a couple. Learn those laws. Get your carry permits. Learn the laws where you are. Get out here and protect yourself, because you don't know what's lurking around that corner. I hate that we got to have this conversation about young people, but I think a part of the problem with the world is it's a conversation we refuse to have. It needs to be had. One of my real close friends, his grandpa, rest his soul. I remember when we was young, and we was playing with his grandpa about something, and he got serious. And he said, that's enough. And he told my friend, he said, look, you're going too far, stop it. He said, I really hurt you. He said, I hurt you faster than I hurt somebody my age because y'all the ones doing all the killing on the news. Y'all the ones getting into all the trouble. I want you to understand that. These young dudes out here, they the ones doing the shooting. From shooting up the block, shooting up the party, doing these drive-bys and these stupid gang shootings, to airing out the fucking schools. It's these young boys out here, these young girls out here doing it. Be proactive. If you see something, say something. If you got to think about it, just hope it's not too late. Remember Ethan Crumbly. The school let him hang around, and the next thing you know, they let his parents leave, and he went in the bathroom, and he came out, and he massacred a bunch of children. And it was only because what his mom said to him why he got charged with that. Why they got charged as parents. Protect yourself. Talk to your children. Be proactive, not reactive. If you're a grandparent that's raising your grandchildren, shout out to you. I know that's hard. That must be a hard life to live, being a grandparent and a parent. Try your best to talk to these young kids. We ain't gonna save them all. We ain't gonna reach them all. It's impossible. But understand something. You as a law-abiding citizen gonna have to come to one realization. You might have to put one of these YNs down. You might have to put Scooter Jr. down. That's gonna have to be okay with you. Because if you put them down, that should be a situation where you were minding your business, where you weren't the antagonist. Shout out to the state of Oklahoma. Like I said, I like their stand your ground law because it's very specific. The aggressor cannot use the stand your ground to get out of trouble. I really like that. They are very, very clear in their stand your ground. It's not vague. To everybody out there, I'm going to say this and I'm going to let y'all go. Or if y'all want to have this an open discussion, we can. To everybody out there, I'm going to say this. It's rough. It's rough on everybody. These are uncomfortable conversations that we have here at the Alert Zone. Sometimes they may have a racial undertone and it may rub you the wrong way. But it's a conversation we got to have. If I'm supposed to speak about what I see where I live, I don't live in the hood. It's where I was raised at. I'm speaking about what I see, what I lived, and what I continue to live. And what I've learned, the only difference between the hood and everywhere else is the hood is what's on the news, the mainstream news. If you really want to know what's going on, you got to get on social media and you got to read the comment sections. That brother out there in Traverse City, Michigan, I seen several news clips about him, and they did their best to go out of their way, mentioning that he was a Marine and that he was a concealed carrier and what have you. They just kept saying the crowd stopped him. Enjoy your children. Hell, enjoy being around the youth, man, because sometimes the youth like being around us older people. But understand something. The youth everywhere is wilding. It ain't just the hood. The youth are wilding everywhere. Okay, so how about it before I get out of here? Where everybody checking in from? We got anybody still in the chat room? I'm seeing 7 people up there. Maybe this might not have been the topic a lot of people wanted to hear about. Maybe, because they knew what I was going to say or what have you. But nevertheless, the summer is here. If when the winter over with, I can jump out and scream that the Savage is coming out, but damn it, the summer is here. August and September is here. The heat on top of school. That's a volatile mix now. Talk to the young people in your life, please. Please. You're not going to get them all to go astray. You're not going to get them all to follow you and do the right thing, but please talk to them. You as a law-abiding citizen just have to accept one reality. No matter where you live in this country or on this planet, you might have to actually put one of these young people down. I'm not calling for nothing against no young people, but you might have to put one of them down. Just be prepared. Because as we can see in the news, on social media, these young people ain't batting an eye when it comes down to putting us down. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in. I hope you learned something from this. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. I'm going to let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. This has been another Incense and Common Sense. Scooter Jr. and the YNs. It's hot. It's humid. It's a lot of anger. It's a lot of guns. It's a lot of testosterone. It's a lot of weed. It's a lot of coke. It's a lot of Molly. It's a lot of everything. Try your best to not be a victim. Till next time, everybody, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert. We out.